Hey, good morning. It is time for me to finish this truck. And I have a couple of things. Whoever was on here Monday watching, I said that I didn't have any snow techs to put on my tree, and she mentioned using Mod Podge and some styrofoam little balls. And you guys, I got out my Christmas decorations and look what I found. So I found all of this styrofoam little balls, and I'm gonna try that, and that's what's gonna be the snow on the tree. So I just put a picture on my page asking what color you would paint your tree. So I want you to tell me, this is just the base coat, and I'm gonna be painting it today. And I've already chosen out the color that I'm gonna use because I'm gonna give it as a gift to my husband. Hey there, Bev. So I've already picked out, but I would like to know what color you would paint your tree. I know somebody on Monday said teal, which would be very pretty. And I've seen like some other people, what they said that they would paint their tree. But I'd like to know, if you're watching today, what color would you do your, not, I said tree, your truck. What color would you paint your truck? And while you're answering that, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the tree. So I have this holly green. That's not the one that I base coated it with. I base coated it with the sour apple. So I made sure and painted everything on there with just a base coat. Hey there, Melissa. So I just put the lighter green on the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna take some of this holly green and I'm going to do what's called dry brushing over top of it. So I just kind of get like the top layer. Because this is three-dimensional, I can do that. So whether you have something that's three-dimensional that has a raised up surface, you know, this tree has all of the parts that are raised up. So you'll see when I use the brush, it just goes over the top of the surface. But you can do that with paper too, especially if you have like watercolor paper. It'll just go over the surface, and you actually use a dry brush. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but I'm going to go over it with this darker green color. So Wanda says a powder blue. Oh, that would be really pretty. Hey, Christina. I am going to use silver today. I'm going to do a lot of the details like the rim and, or the bumper and like around the wheels and things like that. So oh, a doormat from Hallmark that used like that really light kind of powdery blue. That's really pretty at Christmas time, I think, like that powdery blue and metallic and snowflakes. I think that, you know, the silver and the light blue and glitter, you know, everywhere, especially with snowflakes, is really pretty. I do have some of this Galaxy glitter too. If you guys have not gotten this before, if you're doing anything around the holidays or that you want to put glitter on, this is really good. It actually says that it's heavily loaded glitter acrylic, and it does have, I mean, I don't know if you can tell so much in there, but yeah, I see some hearts like going there. If you have ever used this Galaxy glitter, like give me a little heart there so I can kind of see. But it has, I mean, like little flecks of that iridescent, you know, glitter in there. So it's really good. I've used it on a lot of different things so far. I did a painting the other night that had, oh no, I did an ornament. That's what it was. I don't know where my ornament went to. I put up my tree the other night, and I think all but two things are all finished around the house. So I have the tree, and I decorated the mantle really pretty that I've never, you know, decorated in a way before. But the only two things that we have left to do, I have some letters that we normally put on the door. I spell out the word joy. They're kind of faded, so I think I'm going to redo those. And I might redo those live on Friday before I do the gingerbread house. I don't know, I might not wait until Friday. I might do a live video. Would you guys like to see me paint the joy letters? They're really big, like 6-inch letters, and I have tissue paper on them right now. So I might need to do kind of how I did the Create letters several weeks ago. If you saw those where I painted those, and I did like some different textures and things. I might need to do the Joy letters more like that. Or I might do like some collage type. I don't know. I need to do something that they don't fade in the sunlight. Hey there, Angelica. Glittery Shine. Oh, Candy Apple Sparkle Red. Oh, I don't think I've used that before. That sounds really pretty. I have a couple of like metallic colors, but I plan on using the glitter and then the, like I have the gold metallic, and I have my whole bucket. This is all kind of like my glittery metallic kind of, I think I have like some, I have this one I might use. It's like a gunmetal. I don't know if you can tell that it's metallic, but that's what I plan on doing. So here's the thing that I wanted to say. You want to watch Beth? I don't even know what I'm doing with the letters yet, but I got them out today and they're very faded. The only other thing that we need to do is up above our door, we have like a little, do you guys have those areas? Like if you have a 2-story where it has like that little area above the door, and we have like a little word up, what is it? I think it says hope up there. So at Christmas time, we have a garland that has pine cones and it has lights on it. So we put that up there, and then it's kind of nice. Well, it's almost like a little like night light or something. On the fireplace, up above the fireplace on the mantle, we have a mantle that's kind of, it goes back at an angle because it's in the corner of the room. So it goes pretty far back. And this year I have garland and I put lights. And let me just tell you before I get started painting, I'm going to go ahead and get my paint out here. We put the tree up the other night, and do you guys have a pre-lit Christmas tree? Because our pre-lit Christmas tree, the lights went out and none of the lights worked. I don't know, there might have been like one little part of the lights that worked. We've only had it a couple of years, and we didn't have any other lights. It was late. Like I didn't get started decorating the tree until like 9 on Monday night. And so what we did have was some outdoor lights, and we weren't going to put up the outdoor lights this year. So I put outdoor lights on our Christmas tree. So we have some of the warm colored lights that were on the tree. They almost kind of look like a yellowish light on there. And then we have a whole big strand of outdoor lights. So I had the outdoor lights on the tree, and then I had the outdoor lights on the mantle. And then I have these beautiful poinsettia flowers. Poinsettia. We looked up the other night. You can say it either way. So the poinsettia flowers, and they're on the mantle, and it looks, I'll have to put a picture on here to share it with you guys. So I'm going to start doing the dry brush. And I have a friend who just sent me this special brush. It is my friend who owns Let's Paint Runaways, and she gets it printed on her paintbrush here. And you guys, this is the best brush. It's about 1 inch, and it's kind of a stiffer brush. To do dry brush, it's a lot more helpful if you do a stiff brush like this. And you can get, what do they call these at the hardware stores? They call them like chip brushes, I think, but they're stiff. The bristles are stiff. And this one, you want to use this type of brush rather than like this type where it's nice and smooth. You get a much better dry brush if you get something with the texture. Because when you're doing the dry brush, that's what you're kind of trying to pick up is the texture. This one, oh, Bev says she won't buy those anymore. Yeah, that's what we're going to end up doing is like snipping all of those lights off. I have another little like 3-foot tree that I just decorated today. You guys, I've been up since 4:30 a.m. So I've been decorating. So I have another like 3-foot tree that I decorated for my husband's office, and I put all of these wood ornaments on there. Yeah, it's pre-lit and none of those lights lit up. So I put another little strand of lights, and then as soon as I plugged it in up in his office, part of the strand of the other lights then worked. So this brush, I used it just the other night to do a painting, and what I really liked about it is that the bristles are stiff, so you're going to pick up a texture, but you're also, all the bristles are kind of like different. You know, so it's not nice and smooth. Can you tell, like up at the top, it's not really smooth. Have you ever done dry brushing? Do you know what I'm talking about? I'll show you here how I'm going to do the tree. So what I am, for the dry brushing, do not get your brush wet. Wanda, I will talk to you about where I get my energy. I did sleep like, I think I went to sleep at 11:30, so I slept 5 hours. So I do get tired in the evening, but I don't nap hardly. So I have this all natural energy drink. So I had some of that this morning, and that's what woke me up. And I like it because I don't get that like crash if you drink sugar. And then right after that, then I had 2 cups of coffee. So that is where I get my energy. I'm trying to get like some of the, I didn't wash it off very well, and it might just make a better texture. So you want to make sure that your brush is dry. Do not get it wet to soften it up. You actually want the texture on there. And then I go ahead and I get some paint on my brush, but then I tap a lot of it off. So you don't need very much of the paint. And I'm actually going to turn this around, because what I'm going to do is drag it kind of away from me just to get like the top edges. So do you see how it's just getting that texture on there? So I'm not pressing down like I did on Monday, where I, you know, wanted to get down into all of the crevices and everything. And it'll just start to pick up some of the texture. Oh, that's so nice. But do you see why I base coated it, so that all of the inside, you know, and all of those little spaces are all filled in? And I'll kind of go down in a little bit, but I don't have very much paint on my brush when I do that, because I don't want it to fill in down in there. And see, I haven't even went back into my paint at all. And even though this brush is a little bit bigger, it's working pretty well to get, oh yeah, that's so nice. Can you see how it's just kind of picking up all those textures and everything? Hey there, Tracy. Dry brushing is so much fun. It gives you like all this texture without like a lot of work. So since this ceramic piece has a lot of carving down in it and texture down in there, it's really picking up a lot of that. So I base coated with a lighter color for the tree, and now I'm just I'm trying to use up all the paint. I'm gonna have to go into it just a little bit more to get this side. So you can see how it's just picking up like all of that texture. So make sure that you have a dry brush, because what happens if you have it wet is that it's just gonna soak down into all of those little areas, and that's not what you want. You want it to pick up the texture. So I'm kind of going into some of the places because I want it to look like the evergreen color of the tree. I don't want it to be, you know, mainly that lighter green. So I'm going around and picking up even more of that. And this brush is kind of big to be able to do this, but I'm getting into some of these little places here. So this will technically be the first Christmas present. I'm planning on making a lot of Christmas presents this year, and what is it, December 9th, so I better get busy, right? So this is the first one, and I should have this finished today, so. So just a little bit of paint, and I'm kind of going down in to like some of those crevices and things down in there. So if you're just hopping on there, I know Tracy just kind of popped on and a couple other people there. What color would you do your truck? We had somebody say light blue. Somebody said silver, I think. I'm going to do this red. It's actually called Santa Red. So it's like a nice kind of deeper. Oh, you like making handmade gifts? Have you made any this year, Tracy? When I was, you know, an art student, that was, everybody got homemade gifts. That was what I did. I should show you guys sometimes. Oh, I did not bring down, I'll have to do that on Friday. When I was in college, I had taken one painting, no, I think I was in my painting class that I had to take. I only had to take one painting class. And so I decided that I could paint people. So I did this painting, not just one person. I chose to do a painting of 5 people. I found a picture of my grandparents and my aunt and uncle with my mom. I don't know if my mom's on here. She I'm sure remembers this painting, and I have it downstairs. And I decided to do this painting of all 5 of them. Faces, 5 faces. So I can usually do pretty well if I have a drawing, if I have a reference photo. But this one, I had the photo that I was looking at, but I hadn't practiced painting people. So it kind of looks like a folk art painting. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of simplified, and I'll bring it up and show it to you. Would you guys like to see it? I'll bring it up on Friday. So I have to get the truck that I told you that I glazed last year, and I will bring that painting on Friday. So you have to come back on Friday if you want to see that painting, and I will show that to you. I'm just kind of going in. I kind of like the darker green showing up a little bit more. So I still have a lot of that lighter green. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I'm just kind of going in and putting a little bit more of the darker in there. And it still shows up with a ton of the texture, which I really like. So Tracy says, you don't have them done yet. Okay, well, I don't feel so behind then. I have plenty of time. And I plan on making some cards too, except that I'm gonna do postcards. Do you guys make your Christmas cards? A lot of times I would only do like, you know, just the ones for like my close family. But I think I have an idea this time. I was brave. You are right, Bev. Oh my goodness. My grandparents loved it, and I will tell you, they had it hanging up, but they did not have it hanging up in the front room. They had it hanging up in their bedroom. I don't know if that was a compliment or not. That they kept it where not everybody could see it. I don't know. It was just in there so that they could enjoy it. Oh, Tracy says she hasn't even decorated yet. You know, isn't it crazy? It's only December 9th. Christmas is what, 2 weeks from this Friday? With social media, I know that I have felt like I'm behind sometimes if I haven't decorated by a certain time, which is kind of crazy. You know, we feel like we're not measuring up if we don't have our tree decorated by a certain time. All right, so I think I have enough of this green. What do you think? Can you see that lighter green in there? It just gives it some dimension. It just picks up all of that texture. I know in there it kind of looks like, I'll take a picture of it and you'll be able to see, but I know it kind of looks like it's more just like green color, but there's a lot of that lighter green kind of picking up underneath there. So I am not going to get this wet because I'm going to probably use this a little bit more on the truck too, although I'm going to be using red. I did not bring any paper towels in with me. So it doesn't have very much paint on here. So here's what I was just like thinking through in my head. I'm not going to get this wet because I want to have the texture of the tree. But what I am going to do, I was thinking about, I'm going to do the truck this red. Well, if I take the red and the green, I'm going to get either like a grayish or a brownish color, some kind of neutral color. So I don't want to paint the truck yet. So Wanda says, what are you going to do at the bottom of the tree? And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you next. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the bottom of the tree brown. Oh, I didn't paint this part of the bottom. Let me go ahead and do that. But I'm going to paint the trunk of the tree the brown. There's not really a whole lot of texture on that, but I am going to still, so I'm just going to do some of that on the bottom. I am still, thank you, Wanda, because I probably would have missed that. There's not a whole lot of texture on the bottom here, but if you have a dry brush and you have one of these stiff brushes, you're going to get texture anyway, even if the paper or, you know, in this case, the ceramics. See, I'm still getting some texture and I'm getting that lighter green to show through because of the brush, not necessarily because of the ceramics. So as soon as I lay that brush down on there, I'm getting that texture of all those little tiny bristles. And my friend said that the reason that these brushes work out so well is because there's different kinds of bristles on there. And, you know, I told her, I said, well, I'll make sure and not leave it in the water, because if you leave your brushes in the water, it just messes them up, right? She said, you can't really mess up these brushes. Actually, the texture, you know, of them being worn is better. It just gives you like more texture. All right, so now I have the bottom there painted. And I'm just gonna, I don't have a whole lot of paint on there, but I'm just gonna, look, it even gives me a texture on the foam plate there. And then my friend also sent me some paint in these little containers, so I'm going to use this brown. And I should have another color. I'm going to use like a light brown and then like this darker. They look about the same inside there. I might have to go with even a darker. I'll see how dark this one is. Oh, yeah, those are just about the same. So here's a darker one. Oh, this is much better. This is a dark chocolate, so that'll be better. So I'm going to undercoat it, and I'm just going to use like a regular smooth brush to undercoat it with, it already has some of this green, which I'm okay with, but I'm going to go over it with this brown. And I'll just let it dry a little bit. So anyway, I was planning on making some cards this year, but I was going to do postcards instead of regular cards. I might make regular cards for like my family, you know, family members. Just like on Monday, this will dry pretty quickly because the ceramics, the, what do we talk about on Monday? The greenware, since it's already been fired, it'll absorb it pretty quickly and it'll dry. So I just kind of base coated it that lighter brown color. Oh, thanks for popping in, Tracy. It'll be recorded so you can come back and watch it if you want. So I didn't use very much of that brown color. Hey there, Debbie. Oh, Tammy, I don't know if you saw this one on Monday, but look. I think that we found out on Monday that you can either get this at Michael's or Amazon, you can order. But look at this, Tammy. I can't find it. It lights up. How cool is that? Oh, you can really see like the yellow in there. That's kind of cool. On that side with the stars. So, yeah, one of my friends gave this to me. So, isn't that fun that it lights up? And it has like the little star in the door there. So, and then the stars in the tree. And it's like a nice size. It's not like a bigger one. Oh, Wanda, did you not see that on Monday? I didn't remember if you were watching or not. Yeah, on Monday, I was bringing it in to paint, and I saw that there was this sticker on top of it on the bottom. So I wanted to take the sticker off, and I didn't even see that it said that it was a pre-lit ceramic. And then I saw that little switch on there. So this is called Art Minds, and it looks like it was $15. So I don't know if you can get it on Amazon or Michael's. There are trucks that are available through a distributor that I have that somebody said that they were still available, but I've never ordered any from there, even though I'm able to. But so I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit more there, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out the Santa Red. I really like this one because it's kind of a almost like a brick red. And let me tell you guys what I could have done. So I have these two colors of brown right here. I don't know exactly what color this would make, but if you mix together the red and the green, it will make a brownish grayish color. And on Monday, I was doing a page in my journal and I was painting. Let me see if I can show you while I'm letting this dry a little bit. Wanda, I don't have very much paint on my brush, so the other day I actually did make sure that it went into the hole, so it was painted around in there, but I don't have very much paint on my brush. And if I did, I could just take like a small little liner brush and just kind of, you know, poke down in there and like get the paint out. But I was going to show you, I'm doing like this little challenge in my journal where I'm taking a card and I'm kind of like recreating it and just using it as inspiration. So do you see this color in the background here? It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a greenish gray kind of a color. So I had some paints and I didn't want to mix black with the green to gray. I didn't want to mix gray with it. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but when you mix paints, it's a much more interesting color if you don't mix black or white or, well, black or gray or, you know, to make something a darker color. So I wanted to dull down the green, right? Because this is kind of like a grayish kind of a green. It's not like a really bright green. And so I had some red. And I want to show you just beside, so this is my page that I did in my journal here. And you see that color of the green back here? That was my bright green, the same as I used on the little sprigs there. But I mixed just the tiniest bit of red with it. And that's how I was able to get that grayish green. So if I wanted to, I could have mix the red that I have here with the green and probably gotten like a brownish or a grayish kind of a color that might have worked for my trunk down there. So it's almost dry down there. And then I'm going to take that darker brown and go over, but I'll go ahead and squirt out some of this red, and that's what I'm going to use for my truck. And then hopefully it'll dry quickly enough, because if you didn't see at the very beginning, I found these little foam, these little styrofoam snow. I think that's what they call it. I'm sure I probably got it at the Dollar Tree. And it's all kind of like different sizes. I don't have any of the snow text that looks like three-dimensional snow that I want to put on here. So somebody was on Monday, and I don't remember who it was right off, but she had said to mix Mod Podge with that snow, with that foamy snow. So I'm gonna try that today. I'm probably gonna try it on my foam plate first before I just like start putting it on my tree. And I'm gonna use some of that metallic color. I think this zinc one will work pretty well. But I think I'm also going to use my silver Sharpie marker. So I might go over like some of the details on the rim or things like that with that silver Sharpie marker. All right, I think, oh, not quite dry enough yet. So is anybody else making any Christmas gifts? Anything? When I was getting out our ornaments yesterday and on Monday, I found a couple of these that were, they don't have any kind of design or anything on them. So I found two. I found this one and just an all silver one. So I thought I might paint these. So I brought these out and look what I put them in so that they don't roll around. I won't be able to paint them on there. I haven't found exactly what I'll use to you know, you want to put them inside something so that they're kind of like resting. So I still have to find something to be able to do that. So I think I'm going to be painting a couple of ornaments. And I have the postcards that I want to make. And I think I'm going to do a couple of other kind of like some signs and things like that. So I got to get busy. All right, I don't know if this brown is quite dry. So I'm going to try the dry brushing. So I'm just gonna keep my dirty green brush and it has quite a bit of green on there, and I'm just gonna see. Oh yeah, it's keeping it pretty green. I think I might need to wait for it to dry a little bit more. Oh, I don't know, that makes more like an army green. See if I can try that. I'm just kind of looking for a little bit of texture on the tree there. I might wait for it to dry and get a little bit darker brown one. It's still kind of greenish. And I think it's just because there's a lot of green on my brush, but I don't want to get it. I have another little thick brush over here. Let me try. So this is another little stiff one that I have. So you can get other ones that are a little darker. Oh, you like the stars? I just saw that, Tammy. So I'm gonna try this darker brown here. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. It's still not a super dark brown. I might need to see if I have even a darker, or I could mix like a little something darker in there. Couple places I kind of miss with the undercoating. I still might come over. There's the ring in the middle at the bottom there. I still might come over and do that. So I'm kind of afraid, since there's so much green on my brush, that I won't get a very nice red. So I don't have any paper towels in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this wet, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Have you guys ever watched Bob Ross? Did you ever see him when he would have, I think he had like this dowel rod that was like off to the side from where he was painting, and he would take his paint brushes and he would slam them against this dowel rod, and it was to dry them off. And so that way he was able to get that texture. Did you guys ever watch his stuff? I mean, that was how a lot of us learned how to paint. You know, that's what we saw. Well, wasn't that on PBS? Wasn't he on one of the public stations? So I don't have one of those over here. And I'm trying to get all of this green off here. Because I want to have the dry brushing for the red. So I'm trying to get most of the moisture off here, and I don't have a paper towel, and I should keep like a roll. I think my roll of paper towels is over there. But I'm going to take this and see if I can like dry off and get most of the texture off, or the wetness off here. Oh yeah, that. So I'm kind of like sponging it off and trying to get it as dry as I can to be able to use the red on there. It's working pretty well actually. So I'm just kind of taking, this is shelf liner that I got the other day at the Dollar Tree. And I was trying to do some textures with it. So I'll see if this will work. I need to have like a couple of these brushes. It's fairly dry. It's a little bit wet. I think I'll still get some of the texture on there. And yeah, there's not as much texture on the truck anyway. So I think I'll get like some of the texture. Can you see how it's all like divided up? I think that'll give me some of the texture that I want. So I just realized in the front here, I'll need to base coat. Do you see that little wreath that's right there? So I'll need to put some, I'll probably put some brown or some green on that. So see how I'm getting some of the texture from that red? Ooh. So I just came over here and I want you to see what happened. I don't know if I had my finger wet. Look right there. The paint just like completely rubbed off. I don't know what happened there. So I'll have to put some more black over top of that before I paint it. Gosh, hopefully the paint doesn't just like rub off here. So I'm just kind of going over most of this, and I'm going to paint it in more than I did the tree because I wanted more texture in there. But I'm still letting some of the black kind of come through. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and paint some of this black in here and let it dry. That's kind of weird that it just, you know why I think it did that is because this ceramics, this clay it was very shiny, and I probably needed to wash it off first, which I did not do. Because when you're glazing ceramics, if there's any dust or anything like that on there, the glaze won't stick to it. So it was probably the same way with this. So in some of the places, I'm going to have the red a little bit darker on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint in even the places that I'm going to put the silver. I really kind of like how that looks. Can you see like some of that texture on there? And then somebody on Monday was telling me what I needed to get to paint over this for it to be shiny. I'll have to look back at the video on Monday because I don't remember. And I don't do a lot of the painted ceramics to remember what they said. But I like how the black is undercoated. Do you see? And it kind of like comes through. Yeah, some of the paint is rubbing off. I'm not really happy about that. Is it a spray? Debbie, I would probably do Mod Podge too, but somebody was saying on Monday it was something different. was like a spray polyurethane maybe or something like that. So I kind of look like the look of it is just kind of like, you know, just weathered and kind of old. So I'm trying not to put a whole lot of paint and still see some of that black come through. And I'm going to go ahead, see there's a ribbon on the front of that wreath. So I'll go ahead and use that red, paint that in. Gotta get up in those wheel wells. And I know we were talking about on Monday, got some paint up on my tree there that I didn't want. We were talking about on Monday whether I should do ornaments or not, and I don't think that I'm going to. I kind of decided that I just want to have it the tree and then the snow on there. I really like how that looks. I don't know if you guys can see this glare that, oh, there's some more black that came off over there. So can you see like how that looks kind of like weathered and old? Some of that black coming through there. There's a little spot of the black over here too. Probably need some more red. You have a salt and pepper shaker in the truck. Oh, that's so cute. My mom used to collect salt and pepper shakers, Wanda. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's fun. A fun idea, Debbie. And the nice thing about the dry brushing, you don't have to have it like all perfect. And the more that you kind of like brush over it, it kind of just blends in and you know, gives you more texture. But you don't want very much paint on the brush. I might have to use that little smaller brush to kind of get into some of these areas here. I know you can't kind of see what I'm doing very much with the truck. But I really like the look of the black underneath there. So, you know, if you were doing one like in the powder blue, I think it was Wanda that was talking about the powder blue, you know, maybe you could do a dark blue underneath of it. You know, it doesn't need to be, you know, like a navy blue or something. It doesn't need to be the black. You don't have to have it like that, that much of a contrast. Sometimes I forget to kind of tap off a lot of the red. I'm still kind of, you know, trying to get like in some of the areas. I might need to use that smaller brush. So the black's still kind of coming through a little bit. I'll show you this side a little bit here. I still need to do the back. Can you kind of see like where that's kind of coming through? I really like how that looks. I think he'll like it. I'll probably do, would the bottom all be like a silver? I'll probably like go over it in that metallic. So I'm just kind of, oh, I still need to do all of that back there. I think I'll use the little smaller brush for that little top area there. But you know, since I don't have very much paint on, it's still showing up like the wheels there. Not very excited about where the paint's chipping off. Just place on the back there, like right in there. I guess it just kind of makes it look like it's like rusted in there or something, but. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the smaller little brush here. Still has some of the brown on it. My little. Just gotta wet a little bit and see if I can get most of that brown off there. That's pretty clean. And I didn't get it too wet, so it's still pretty dry. So I can get the texture on there. So this way I can get some of these smaller little areas. Oh yeah, that's much better. So somebody else, I think Tracy was saying that she hadn't decorated yet. Is there anybody else who hasn't decorated for Christmas yet? Nope, a little spot back here. All right, I think my tree is pretty dry. How's that looking? Can you kind of see some of those darker like spots where it's like coming through? I have some spots over here. So some of the areas I want like a darker red. But I'm still kind of using the dry brush. I don't have very much paint on here still. And even when I kind of go over it with more paint, it just creates like a more worn kind of like look. 4 cats, no tree. Oh my goodness, Debbie. Oh, look on the wheel right there. It peeled off the paint. Well, I'm going to go over that with something else anyway, so. We had a cat one time. I know exactly what you're talking about. Cat was like all up in the tree. All right, there are a couple spots back here. But you can see where this undercoating really kind of helps to make sure that it's painted in everywhere. And just like the other day, to make sure that I had everything painted, I just kind of like take it and kind of just keep turning it around and make sure that every place that I want to have painted. And that I don't have like too much paint built up in places. Like some of it looks like it's, you know, a brighter red, and so I want to like take off some of the paint in some of those areas. And if I want it to be a little bit more red, I can put a little bit more paint in some places. All right, you can tell when I'm really starting to have fun painting because I kind of like quit talking. I like the dry brush and the different like textures and things that you can get. I want some more red, I think, on the hood here. But because of the way that it absorbs into the ceramics, it's still leaving me a texture even though I'm, you know, I have more paint on there. But because of this stiff brush too. I got a new candle yesterday. Do you guys burn candles at Christmas time? Yankee Candle, because those are the best candles. And I got red apple wreath. It's really good. Yeah, Rhonda, it really does, the black undercoat. But you could have like a dark brown. You could have, you know, like I said, if you were going to do a blue, it could be like a navy. So just a darker color underneath, and just make sure that everything's painted in. So then that way I don't have to paint all of this red on here, and you can see some of that come through. You know, and really that's true with like any kind of painting that you're doing. You could do like an undercoat, and then you do the texture, and you kind of like see through. So I even don't mind the windows. Oh, there's such a glare there, but I might leave the windows even like that. I'm not really sure. I have a piece of, there's a piece of the paintbrush. So I am not liking how some of that paint chipped away there. I'm going to go over that with the black for the wheel anyway, but okay, I think this is pretty dry on the front, right? There's such a glare on the front right there. So I think I'm going to do that wreath, and I'm going to see if this brush is small enough. So I need to base coat it first, don't I? Use that candy apple. Sour apple, that's what it's called. So for the base coating, I'm really not worrying about it being dry. It's just when I do the dry brushing on top. So I'm just kind of painting in that wreath that's on the front there. And it's okay that it has some of that brown, or that red underneath there. It'll just kind of add like a little layer. Oh, I painted over the ribbon. I'll have to fix that. It's hard to kind of talk and paint at the same time when I'm trying to focus on the details. Oh, I hear my husband coming down. Hopefully he doesn't see. I'm just going to paint over that ribbon. It's too hard to kind of keep it. I've already been on here for like an hour. I really like how that red ribbon looks in there though. Alright, that should not take very long to dry because I didn't paint it too thick. And then I'll go in and do some of the dry brushing. I have a little spot over here that I went over too much with the red. All right, what do you think so far? I don't think I need to paint in this wheel thread. Oh, I really like how that looks. No, it doesn't, Bev. I think you can do like 4 hours or something. So what do you think? Where did it go? What do you think about the windows? Should I just leave those how they are with the red and the black? I could leave them how they are and then put just like a couple of like white highlights or something on there. All right, I think I'm gonna take some of this silver metallic and see how that looks for some of the rims and things. And I think I'm gonna use more of like a pointed brush just so I can get in some of the details. So I'm gonna paint like this bumper. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't know if you can see that metallic, kind of like right down there on the bumper part. And then I should have that around in here, right? See, the one that I did last year for all of these details, I just used a Sharpie marker. I just felt like I would have more control with the Sharpie. Probably be easier if I sit this down and try to, instead of trying to hold it up. And I can get like a little bit of a dry brush even with something like this. I know that glare is coming in from the window. I don't even know if you guys can still see what I'm doing here. And then I think I'll paint this inside rim here. But as you keep painting and you have less and less brush, less and less paint on your brush, then you start to get like a dry brush kind of effect. Which is kind of nice even with this here because it, you know, it's just kind of like worn, right? I feel like I need to put that blind down or I had to like keep leaning up. There we go. Oh, you're right, Wanda. I could just like leave it how it is and then do some white. I'm gonna try out the styrofoam, mix them with the Mod Podge and see how that is. All right, what do you think about the wheels and the rim there? And that's hard to be very exact with that paint. I don't know. I don't like to be like really fussy, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time making that all look perfect and everything. Right, because I could kind of, that's so bright. I could kind of keep looking at it and keep going over it. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'll come over here and do the side. What do you think about the handles? Should I do those black? Or should I do those silver? Or this zinc or whatever it's called. Oh, I guess I need to do the front and the back. Bumper with the silver too. But what do you think about the handles? Silver handles, you think, Rhonda? Wanda? Alright, I'm not worrying too much about the details on those. Okay. Wanda says silver for the handle, so... Oh yeah, I do like that little detail. So, there you go for the handle. Yeah, that's kind of nice. It kind of sticks out. And then what about for the mirrors? On an old truck, are those metal or are they the color of the paint? Okay, I need to do that bumper back there. Keep trying to hold it up and that doesn't work too well. Have to focus on that. They were metal, is that right, Wanda? Okay. So need to paint those in. But I'm not worrying too much about the silver being everywhere either because it would be... It would just look... Oh yeah, that's nice. See with the mirror there? Oh, I really like it. And I think I still have the front bumper to do. So I know it's hard to see with the glare coming in, so I will definitely take a picture. Oh, I did have another rim over here. I like these pointed round brushes because you can get into a lot of details. What about the lights in the front there? Those are probably metal too, aren't they? I really like the look with the undercoating though. It really gives it just more of an antique look to it, right? I wonder what year this truck would have been. I have no idea. I know it's become really popular in the past couple of years, that's for sure. Okay, so what about, oh, make those white like the lights are on? That's a good idea. Or like a pale yellow or something. All right, so I think I am gonna leave the glass the way that it is there. The windows. I really like it. All right, I'm gonna try mixing some of these styrofoam balls that go everywhere. I don't have a clean place on my plate over here. So I'm just gonna use a piece of paper towel, or a piece of paper. Ooh, they almost just went everywhere. Here, wait, I have a better idea. I'm gonna put the glitter on here first. Then I'm gonna take the styrofoam and hope that they don't go everywhere. Drop them into here. I'm trying to drop them into the paint. So I could probably make some of the snow, but I'm gonna see how this works because this is what I have. Let me close this. Okay, now that glare is not coming in on me either. All right, I still have a couple of you left. Oh, is that right, Wanda? How do you know that? All right, this is making like this three-dimensional snow. We'll see. All right, let me see if I can put it over here so you can kind of like see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna take this glitter that has like the little styrofoam balls on here. What do you think if I put a couple of those like around on the top of the, it would look like this three-dimensional snow. Do you see that? I could probably just put some of the glitter on there and then it's kind of like sticking up out of there. Oh, that's kind of fun. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like the styrofoam? And it has some of the glitter in there too. That's kind of fun. Look. Has some of the sparkle in there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I don't waste any of the sparkle and put some of the glitter. Well, it makes it very shiny too. And then that way I know how some of the sparkle. Well, I'm just having a lot of fun painting this truck, I'll tell you. Need more glitter. Ooh, that might have been too much. And then I'll come back and add some of the styrofoam. I don't know, what do you guys think about? Oh. What do you think about the styrofoam? Do you like how that looks, the three-dimensional on there? I'm sure I'll need a little bit more So they just kind of like stick wherever the glitter is. Some of them I feel like I need like a couple pieces of the styrofoam. I don't remember who it was on Monday that told me to use this, but I think it's kind of fun. They're very staticky, so they just kind of like stick everywhere. Oh. So you kind of have to get them into the glitter quick before they start to like roll away. I don't think up the top here I need, you know, very many all in one place. I think it's kind of fun that it makes it like three-dimensional. It's almost kind of like the ornaments too, so it kind of just adds, you know, I wasn't going to put ornaments, but this kind of makes it have like some three-dimensional things on there. All right, probably once I use all of these styrofoams, it'll be enough. When it has the glitter on there, it just kind of, wherever it kind of like lands is where it sticks to. So I'm just kind of painting it on with the glitter. So I'll get these on here and see if that's enough. All right, I gotta look on this side. Oh, I think I might need a couple more in there. So I need a little bit more glitter. So do you guys like the styrofoam on there? I think it's kind of fun. But I think I need a few more over in here somewhere. All right, I think this should probably be enough once I get these on here. Oh, that's like a thick piece of glitter in there. So does it kind of look like snow, or is it just like these white styrofoam balls on there? When they're kind of like grouped together, I don't know, I might kind of have to like look at it and see if I need more than that, but that's kind of fun. It's almost like these little pearlescent, like little pieces on there. All right, I'm gonna go over that wreath. Oh, and let me make sure that I close up these styrofoam pieces because they'll go everywhere. So I think, oh, I think I'm going to try using this stiff brush. It shouldn't take very much. I need probably like a little, even a smaller little stiff brush, because this kind of went over into some of the places I didn't really want it to. So I just showed like a little bit of that green underneath there. And then I still need to paint the red ribbon because I painted over it. Trying to do a few places with the ribbon a little redder. So I might paint over the ribbon a little bit more like once it dries. Kind of like the glitter on the tree. Okay, so a little bit of white. What about Wanda? I'm not sure if you're still on here or not. Oh, I got one of the styrofoam balls. Oh, another one there. So on the hood here, where this is right here, was that metal too? That trim right in there? And I don't know, like around the windshield, was that all metal? And I don't know, like that little piece, was that metal up above there too? Like I'm gonna have to look at a picture of one of these so I can be able to see like some of those little details. I'm not sure about. But I'm gonna take just a little bit of white, do some of the details in the windows. And I'll do that with a dry brush too. And so that way it's not a line, it's just getting like the texture of the, oh, and I do have another like little stiff brush there. But I'm just gonna use, I'm gonna use this little pointer brush, but I'm just gonna get a little bit of paint on there. So I have to be sure. So I just take my paintbrush and I just kind of roll it. And I'm just gonna do so do you see how I just did a couple of lines just really light in the windows? Oh, so Wanda, is that right? Like all of those little details are metal? Okay. I sure am glad that you're on here. Oh, that was a little bit too much white. All right, that one white line on there I think is a little bit dark. All right, so I'll have to come back in and do the details. I keep grabbing the styrofoam and not stuck on there. So I'm just kind of doing like a couple little lines for like the reflections in the windows. And then I don't have a yellow over here to do the lights in the front. So I'm not gonna do that right now. But the last thing I guess is all the details. So one to even around the doors, all of that was metal. Oh. The styrofoam are not staying on there real well. So I'm trying to brace my arm down on the table. Oh, kind of got out of line there. I guess any place where it's kind of like lifted up, raised up is metal. I went out of the edge a little bit. Let me show you. In a couple of different places, like just right along the edge there. But so what about like this on the top of the bed there? Oh, on the grill in the front. Just in that. So was this around the door not metal like that? I'm gonna have to look. Like this part top on the hood you said though, right? That's hard, like around the door part there. Because it's so skinny. And I think even up around this wreath, there might be, there's like a raised up area like right here that might be, oh, not on this part of the hood. I'm gonna look at a picture so that I know for sure what pieces. But I like all of the details and how that black kind of like comes through. So I will take a look at some of the other details and finish the lights there and kind of finish up. And I will take a picture of it so you can see what it looks like all finished. Oh, hey, I see like Dixie popped on. I see your picture. Oh, thanks, Bev. If you do it. Oh, okay. I'll go in. What do you think on the wreath? Do I need like some little red dots for some berries or anything like that, or ornaments or anything on the wreath? And the lights, I didn't bring in over any yellow to be able to paint in the lights. So I'll finish that too. I kind of like the styrofoam though. It's kind of fun. It just makes it like three-dimensional and just kind of fun. So the only part that I'm not crazy about, oh, you see almost, oh, I got some, I was trying to keep my fingers off the places that were wet. I almost like sent it sailing off the table. But you see like right here where the paint like chipped off a little bit. Oh, you have one? Yeah, this was one that I had. Dixie, I don't know if you saw this one, but it lights up. So It's kind of fun. It looks kind of like yellowish on the inside, I guess, once I've painted it. But I'm going to look at the details, and I think I need to go over the wheels too. So maybe that'll cover that up when I do the black over the wheels. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up as this dries. Every time I try to pick it up, I grab some of those styrofoam little pieces and they start to fall off there. So I have like 4 of them over here on my tablecloth. But I'm gonna do that. I've already been on here like an hour and a half painting, and I appreciate you guys like staying on. But yeah, I need to go over the tires, and I'll do that like once I let the tree dry. And but I think it's kind of fun. If you get a chance, I know Michael's has ceramic things, and you can get ceramic things. Like I said, I have a distributor that I haven't really like ordered anything from them. So kind of behind on Christmas. It's already like December 9th and I haven't done any of those kinds of things. So, oh well. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hopping on, and Wanda especially giving me all of the tips on you said it was a 53 Chevy, all of the tips on that. But I really like the undercoating. If you do anything where you, rather than trying to do the fussy painting like over top, and try to do an undercoating of some maybe like a little darker color, and then you'll make sure that it's all painted in, and then when you do the dry brushing over it, that color kind of comes through and it just starts to create more depth. And especially on ceramics and with a stiff brush, and to do that dry brush technique, you can do it on a lot of different things, but on ceramics it works really well because you pick up the texture of the clay and if there's any impressions or things like that. So it works really well. But I'm really happy with how the color of the truck, especially. And once I put the varnish, I don't know, Dixie, you're on here. Oh, thank you. I know, I really like how it turned out. Do you like the little styrofoam pieces? I just mixed them with my glitter, and they're like stuck on there. So, oh, good, Wanda. But Dixie, maybe you know what you spray over it. I know, I think it's kind of fun. Some of that silver on there, and I'll figure out some of the other places on there. What you spray over the ceramic pieces, is it like a spray polyurethane that you put over it or something? I'll have to find out, because I don't know, would you want it? Would you want it is a polyurethane spray? Okay. Do you get that? Do you get it at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, or do you get it more like at Home Depot or Lowe's or someplace? So obviously I've never put that on my ceramics, because really I usually would glaze my ceramics. I wouldn't paint them. So this might be like one of the first times that I've painted. I know on a ceramic piece, I know that when I was teaching and oh, thank you, Dixie. That would be really helpful. You just get it at Walmart. Perfect. So I know when I was doing ceramics, when I was teaching, we would just put like a painted gel medium, like gloss or something, gloss medium or something over it. Yeah, maybe I will want it, and I just have the glitter up here on the tree. So, okay. Well, I'm going to look and see if there are any other details, but once I get the details on this one, then I can at least have one Christmas present finished. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys staying on to watch and give me all the details and tips and everything with the polyurethane spray and with the truck and everything like that. So, but I think it's kind of fun. And probably on Friday, I'm going to paint the gingerbread house. What color do you think that I should undercoat the gingerbread house? I was thinking just kind of a, one of the, like the brown kind of a color, but I'm going to make the gingerbread house colorful. So I wasn't sure, but I think that makes sense for it to be like a gingerbread kind of a color underneath. So let it dry and then spray it really good. Okay. So that is what I'm going to do on Friday. And then I will show you that painting. If you were not watching or listening earlier, I talked about a painting that I did when I was in college. So that's what I was thinking, Bev. I'll probably undercoat it. So, but I did a painting in college, and it was like a folk art painting of 5 people. So I will bring that up on Friday and show that to you. And I may give you a little sneak peek on Friday. I should have all of my materials for my boxes, my art journaling boxes. I think everything arrives today. So I should have it all laid out, and I might give you a little sneak peek on Friday of how I'm packing it up. So if you are a member, which I know a few of you still on here are, then you might get a sneak peek of a few of the things in the box that I have not told you what are in there yet. So I'm going to go have some lunch. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.